evening. I'm James Harvey. In local news, former disgraced city council member pastor Andre Spivey is sentenced to 2 years in federal penitentiary for accepting bribes from undercover agents posing as towing contractors. Spivey told the judge that the payments were only loans and that he was in fact working with the undercover agents who had bribed him.
What the fuck, Red? What are you doing now?
I'm doing the news.
Oh, I see. You hit it big on the No BS News Hour. All of a sudden, you're the shit. You're on other people's boring-ass podcasts, and now you're doing the news from my anchor desk?
Dude, you don't understand. It's hard for a brother like me to get recognized by these big social white media corporate types. So, I figured I'd do it this way, be more acceptable, more marketable.
Yeah, I can see that. I love you, bro. I know you're trying to get over it. Carry on.
And now for the weather. The Metro Detroit area can expect an Arctic snap across the region next week where temperatures are going to be dropping to freezing levels. So you might want to break out the hot chocolate and the marshmallows. Ha ha ha! It's going to be cool, man. Cool. Oh, fuck this. Andre Spivey, you can burn in hell, you fucking sellout motherfucker.
No bullshit. No bullshit. No bullshit.
Public, let's just did breaking news. No more bullshit. No more bullshit.
No bullshit.
Yo, everybody. What's the date?
Charlie.
Hi, Karen. How's your foot?
It hurts like hell.
That's what you got to stop kicking ass. That's what you get.
Nope. Can't do that. Then where would we be?
You look good. You don't even look like you're injured.
That's always the plan. Don't show your pain. It's all good.
I always look like I'm injured when I'm healthy.
I'm thugging it out, you guys.
She's a karate man. She bruises on the inside so it's not to show her weaknesses. And the phone in the limo is busted. She can't get in touch with her bitches.
Something like that.
All right, look, let's pop to this real quick. The biggest stories in Michigan are going around the country. And here in Michigan, you're hardly hearing about it. Flint and the racketeering charges that were being set up have disappeared. Joining us in the program is Jordan Cheriton from Status Quo. We co-wrote a story for The Guardian. We had to go to The Guardian because nobody here will take it. Number 2, the nursing home count. It's off. It's wrong. Excuses, deflection, bullshit. We got 2,400 people that were never counted, and we're arguing over definitions, horseshit. Joining me from the Mackinac Center for Public Policy and my good friend and lawyer, Steve DeLee. And then
Thanks for having me, Jack.
Man, don't talk over my shit, man. We'll fix that in post. We'll fix it.
Let's just start.
It's a blooper reel. Oh, we're going to bring you the blooper reel of Red trying to be an anchor, man, at the end of the program.
Interestingly enough, it's 3 times as long as the intro.
Oh,
I've never seen a blooper reel that's 3 times as long as the actual material.
God, this guy. No, he's great. He's great. Good old Red.
Love the makeup.
Okay, but just before we get into the meat of the program, the issues we're talking about, the poisoning of Flint, that is a matter of contemptible culture in this state, political corruption, and we get no answers. Let's put it where it's at. It's on the leadership. It's the very same with the nursing homes. Remember something, folks. And stay tuned. Listen, I'm going to give you the regular people version of 3 hours of testimony yesterday in front of a joint committee of the state Senate and House oversight committees about what happened there. I'm going to give you really what it was. Okay? But I demand more of reporters and journalists and media types. You got to be on this. Man, okay, this is what I want to say. I want to point out a few differences between a reporter and a journalist.
Okay.
Okay? Number one, a journalist can type without looking.
Oh, okay. Fancy.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, reporters do it with one finger and they're looking at it.
The Hut and Peck, yeah.
A reporter drinks in public with the public. A journalist drinks in private with the public officials. A journalist rides the elevator. A reporter smokes in the stairwell. Now, of course, journalists and reporters are members of the same nuclear family, the press. The difference between them and their strange cousin, the media guy, is this. While the press is still working at 9 o'clock at night, the media guy is busy posting pictures of himself, his dogs, and his socks.
We need a little less of that personal life on Twitter.
Charlie.
Yes, Karen?
Yes.
I did that on the day that I posted a picture of exactly that. My socks, my dog, and my hood. I was like, is Charlie talking about me on the slide?
There you go, media guy. So we got it all here. Okay, but first we want you to know that the No BS News Hour is brought to you by Luke Nowacki. Luke Nowacki. Hey. Let's get you in the mood here. Now we want to remind you that maybe you're not a big-time city official who can travel with your entourage on the city's dime. Maybe you don't get to hire a pal of yours for a new PR position in the water department for $128,000 a year. I don't know why you need public relations in the water department. What, we're making commercials? Hey, if you want running water,
Yeah.
call the Detroit Water Department.
It's a PR position.
Get the fuck out of here.
Ridiculous.
Okay, if you're not tied into that, if you're not among the elite who are making your buddies' pockets overflow with the taxpayers' money, you're going to have to look out for your own money. You know, the money you work for, you got to grow with. How do you do that?
And call the one and only Royal Alliance Associates.
That's right. Luke Nowacki over there, Royal Alliance Associates at 248-663-4748. Grow your assets from annuities to individual retirement accounts to college savings. Make that call now. Your politicians, not to mention your children, are depending on you. That's Luke Nowacki, 248-663-4748.
Yeah.
Bada bing, man, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's
Mark said, yeah.
yeah, hills, yeah.
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 Did you lose a screen over there, by the way? You see two things.
I just see me.
Okay, good.
That's all I need.
That's all
to
we
see.
all need to see. Yeah.
That's all I need.
Just a little technical
You know, I've
issue.
been working out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back into my pants.
What? You don't have pants on?
No, none of them fit anymore. It's like 14 pounds of cheap Cabernet, bro.
Welcome to my world.
Is that a beer over there?
I don't want to hear anybody complain about getting in or out of their pants.
Hey,
It's very
whoa.
offensive to us waistline challenge
Dude, this
people.
is no BS news hour. I'm not getting into that very offensive bullshit. I mean, no offense
What? You
to
didn't believe
anybody.
me?
Where is everybody? My screens are dead.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, is everybody still on?
Yeah, everyone's still.
Oh, I don't need to see them as long as they can see me. Okay.
All right.
Now listen.
Everything's fine.
Here we're gonna go here now. Ready? Okay. The children who were poisoned in the Flint water scandal will receive the monetary equivalent of a used truck. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel trumpets this pittance as an historic settlement. What she does not tell you, and what me and our next guest, my pal, Jordan Cheriton from Status Quo, have reported in The Guardian,
Yeah.
based in London,
Nice that I have to go there to find the story.
is that Nessel inherited a massive and sprawling racketeering case compiled by her predecessors. The politicians, the bond lawyers, the bankers, the contractors, the emergency managers, all of those who put the deadly deal together in the first place were being targeted with racketeering charges originally designed to take down the mafia. Now, in the end, Nessel has decided to let the perpetrators slither away. Madam, there is the chair. You are always invited to answer questions from those who know what they're talking about. Jordan, welcome in, bro.
Hey, thanks for having me, Charlie.
So, how you want to go with this? You want to talk about what it is we found, or do you want to complain bitterly that no one's following up to even check the veracity of what we said?
Let's do both.
Let's do what we found.
Yeah. In a nutshell, we found that the original Flint water team, before this attorney general that she fired, they were, I don't know, if we're on a football field on the 10-yard line of pressing a really, really aggressive racketeering case. Racketeering, like you said, has been used against organized crime, the mafia. This was over the KWA pipeline, which was the new water system that the broke city of Flint magically found $85 million to join. They were going after, like you said, state officials, bond people involved with the bond deal, and potentially others over this fraudulent deal that gave Flint, which was broke, $85 million to join this new water system. We all know what happened. While the KWA was being constructed, they put the Flint on the Flint River, forgot to add the proper chemicals, and the rest is tragic history. We don't have answers for why Nestle's predecessor, why they were gunning for this racketeering, but when Nestle assumed the case, fired that team, put in her own people, why they have not followed through on these charges. You and I also report that they dropped separate financial fraud charges that had already been on the books against some of the emergency managers appointed to run Flint. So all around, you have a scam financial deal. You have the people that put it together were potentially going to face justice, but under the Nestle regime, they've gotten off scot-free.
Now, let me do this. Nice synopsis. Now we'll give the regular people version. Those of you listening, try to follow along. Those of you watching, put up that picture of Flint and these developments. Okay, so put it up so I can see the motherfucker. This is important. Fix it. Okay. What you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, and what you're hearing, ladies and gentlemen, here's a map of Michigan. It's a map of Flint. There's blue lines. That constitutes the Detroit water system. That's how Flint would get its water. It would either get it shipped up from Detroit and a left turn in Lapeer County into Flint, or it would come from Lake Huron, like Fort Gratiot, and go straight across. Okay? The red line above that is the new water system that Genesee County and Flint and the KWA wanted to make.
The modem is the white box.
What the fuck?
All I know is the modem's the white box.
Do not cut back to him. He could be pulling one of those
Tubins?
Tubins. We don't need to see that. Okay, the red line.
The red line is the new one.
Right, that Flint joined, but Flint didn't have any money. Flint was broke. It wasn't allowed to borrow. Emergency manager, right? Somehow they were able to come up with $100 million right, to join in on this pipeline. How'd they get the $100 million when you're not allowed to borrow? They created an emergency. What was the emergency? There was an old sludge pit that hadn't been used in decades.
Oh, yeah.
That had tires in it and television sets and refrigerators. You gotta clean it out.
Yeah.
Take a few grand to do it. So they borrowed $100 million to do it. What'd they do with $100 million? They joined that red line, right? The new thing. Now, put that back up. Those of you listening can't see it. Let me explain. When you get to Flint, it's all Flint on this map is in red. In the top of that red circle of Flint is a yellow box. The yellow box is that old water treatment plant y'all heard about. Hadn't been used in 5-6 decades. It needed $50 to $100 million just to work safely. Okay? They put maybe $2 million in and then decided to connect it to the Flint River. We just let people drink from the Flint River till the new thing's done. Nobody will ever notice. And it's important to say here, when you bring a new water treatment plant online, federal law says you got to run it for a whole year before anybody drinks anything out of it. They waived it.
Why? Well, what was the reasoning behind that?
Money, motherfucker. Always. Money. So now, is Jordan still with us? Because my shit's bagged up. Right, Jordan?
Absolutely.
So what we got here is false pretenses on what the emergency was, why we needed to borrow the money. And 2, everybody involved in the deal was saying the plant was safe. Right, Jordan?
Absolutely. They said the plant was safe. The problem was when they flipped the switch to the Flint River, that plant was basically a boat with 20 holes in it. Didn't even have enough of the equipment in the plant to add the proper chemicals into the water. So they basically flipped the switch just on a wing and a prayer, hoping that the water could be distributed safely without putting in enough of the money that was to go to upgrades. They also couldn't really spend the money, Charlie, to the upgrades because they had to start paying the bonds on the brand new water pipeline, the KWA water pipeline. So they didn't have enough money, period, to pay both. That's why they left Detroit and they figured, let's use the Flint River for free. We won't add all the upgrades to the plant and just hope that the water, there won't be an issue. Obviously, there was an issue, and then they covered it up for 18 months as the residents of Flint were, showing body rashes, hair loss, children, developing lifelong issues.
They didn't.
They told.
Sorry,
Yeah.
two things. They didn't stop when they saw that, and that's what these new charges and it basically. Back when Bill Schuette was running this investigation and Todd Flood and Andy Arena were the lawyer investigators. And by the way, the chief investigator, Andy Arena, head of the Detroit FBI, head of the New York FBI, he used the RICO statute to take out the Gambino family. So he ain't no clown, this guy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So
Who provided the waiver?
wait a minute. That's a good one, but let me just make this point.
Okay.
Everybody that's is charged right now was two people. Snyder's charged with a misdemeanor and his right-hand man is charged. But everybody now charged was charged under Schuette with what? Involuntary manslaughter, etc. That's all charges for covering up the rashes and the Legionnaires' deaths and all of that stuff. But nowhere are there any charges for the scumbags who put this deal together. That's what we're
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So they're still running around, able to do their dirt again.
It's even worse than there are no financial charges. There were financial charges. That's the thing. And the Michigan media, like most things, they fell asleep on this. But when Dana Nessel came in and she dropped charges against 8 state and city officials, some of those charges she dropped were the financial charges. The money, the emergency managers had been charged with false pretenses, conspiracy to commit false pretenses. Nessel comes in, she appoints her prosecutors. They drop these charges. They didn't give an explanation. The only explanation they gave was basically crapping on the previous investigation. We have to drop these charges because they messed up somehow. But she dropped these financial charges. She recharged the same emergency managers that she dropped the financial charges against. She recharges them last year. Gone are the financial charges. So doesn't the attorney general and her team owe an explanation to the residents of Flint? What happened to the money? Why'd you stop following the money? How come your predecessors were going after, racketeering is about as serious as it gets in financial crimes. Why were they gunning for bondholders? By the way, we haven't even gotten into Wall Street. JP Morgan and Wells Fargo funded these bonds. They issued the bonds. So how come they were going after it? But you say, Attorney General Nessel, the only comment we got for the story was we went after all viable charges. Well, how come your predecessors found it viable? You don't. Explain that.
I get Karen. What's the question now?
So you said that, it was required that it run or operate for a year before anyone consumed from that new line or that new activation.
Yeah.
Who provided that waiver to allow them to start doing so prior to a year?
My understanding of it is the state environmental department. So this was under Snyder. They had a creative reading of federal environmental laws because according to the lead and copper rule, which is the gold standard for water treatment.
Here we go with that again.
Yeah. According to the lead and copper rule, not to go too into the weeds, you have to do 2 6-month periods of testing. You have before you could distribute water. Secondly, but they mangled that. The state environmental department, whether intentionally or just incompetence, by saying, "Oh no, you don't have to add you don't have to add corrosion control chemicals right away when you switch. You could just do testing for 2 6-month periods. The thing is, testing for 2 6-month periods without distributing the water to people. That's the actual law. They did it. Oh no, we'll just do testing for 2 6-month periods a year while giving it to people. So they completely, according to them, it was accident. We misinterpreted the law. If people want to believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. But it was the state environmental department, to answer your question, that bucked the federal rules.
Now I wanna tell Flint. Here's what I know. Oh, and we know. Follow it, because look, Jordan just told you something. By the way, the rest of the media. There's your clue. The false pretenses charges against the emergency managers means you concocted a scheme to borrow the money. That's gone. That should give you a clue, and that's all I'm going to give you. That's the feet poking out from under the bed. Pull on the feet, and the corpse comes out.
Sounds like obvious fraud.
Well, you can't say obvious.
I said it sounds like.
This is court of law. But damn, remember the very first program that I did, No BS News Hour.
Todd Flood.
Was Todd Flood, the special prosecutor. And at that time, candidate Nessel, she wasn't even the Democratic nominee yet, said she was going to drop all this, that Schuette was grandstanding, that Flood and Arena were padding their pockets without ever looking at anything.
She's trying to get elected.
Right? Goofball. Yeah. Goofball. You worked on tow truck scams.
You don't do it that way when you're elected.
Yeah, you're goofball, and you know you got problems. This is screwed up.
But this seems like
so the point being, here's what I know, Flint. There were internal people making heavy decisions cooperating at the time. When candidate Nessel opened her big mouth, they decided to take their shot. Hey, whoa, wait. We might be able to beat all this shit. So, bye. That's what it really is.
Well, the other thing also, Charlie, is, Attorney General Nessel, while she was a candidate, again, no access to any of the locked up evidence. All she had was what the public had. So she starts saying this is a politically charged show trial.
Say that again. Wait, let me. She saw nothing that you, the public, saw. She was just a candidate. Okay, go ahead.
So she had no access to any of the, evidence or the case or what they were even investigating at that time that wasn't already public. So she starts crapping on the investigation, calling it politically charged show trials. But here's the thing. I've reported it. Charlie confirmed this himself. That investigation that she was calling a political show trial, we already established they were going after the money. They were building a case against the governor for involuntary manslaughter. To be clear, they were not ready to charge the governor.
If ever.
Right. Our sources indicate they were not going after Snyder for a misdemeanor. They were going after involuntary manslaughter. So this attorney general comes in. She claims it was amateur hour before, which is kind of ridiculous because, again, the chief investigator had investigated the Gambino crime family. He had investigated 9/11. I mean, heavy duty shit. She says it's amateur hour. She's got to clean up their mess. But all we see in 3 years is a mess. I mean, look at what has happened. Other than I'll give the team credit. They went after Snyder's right-hand man with some serious charges. They went after Snyder's chief of staff with perjury. The governor, a misdemeanor. The racketeering case that was handed to them has died on the vine. Other financial charges dropped. And now you have, I don't want to go too in the weeds, Charlie, but it seems like they didn't even go through the evidence properly.
Let me help you. There's a case in the Supreme Court. Nessel decided to go to a judge, like a one-man grand jury, secretly give evidence, and the charges come. Now there's a case in the Supreme Court, separation of powers. How can you have the judiciary filing charges when that's what the executive branch is supposed to do? That's the attorney general. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got that.
Okay, here's what I'm stumped on.
Go on.
This just seems like a very easy victory for her. And, what I mean by that politically, if she just even puts charges out there or investigates it instead of dropping it. So I can't wrap my head around to why. Like, what is the big thing is, why would she just let this all go? What does she get out of it?
She get, like you said, I'm going to answer. This is my guess. Madam, you're welcome to sit here. That's what we'd like to know. This stuff's too hard. She's got no experience. You want to do a show trial. You end up dropping charges and come back with the very same ones, except the most serious financial stuff. Now it's all bottled up in the courts. Mark my words, folks, just like the skyscraper, just like the nursing homes, I'm going to tell you, it's either going to be the spring or it's going to be the spring in 2 years. She lost this case. It's over. Because one other thing she did, she re-subpoenaed records, okay, of like state employee types who are represented by her own office. So the people she's investigating, right?
Yeah.
Are being covered, being lawyered to, administered to by the Attorney General's office. Get what I'm saying? So you're taking confidential stuff and there's not a third party to make sure that that's not privileged information.
Yeah.
Right?
We've talked about that before.
We have.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a huge
big
issue.
mistake, yeah.
It's a big, I think it's done. Now, let me ask this.
Well, yeah, if she can't use that evidence, it's done.
Let me ask something because people want to know this. Jordan, if you don't mind, where are your politics, dude? You a right-wing guy? You a left-wing guy? You a super conservative? You a progressive? What are you?
I consider myself progressive, but on this, it's not really a political story. The color is green. The Republicans fucked up. The Democrats have fucked up. To me, it's one corrupt cesspool. All of them are involved in this. Frankly, yeah, Snyder was the governor, but what has Whitmer done for Flint? Attorney General Nessel, she's a Democrat. What has she done? I mean, I've gone aggressively in my reporting. We've reported and broken story after story about Governor Snyder's role in this. He lied to the public too. But to me, I mean, personally, I am a progressive, but on this, it has nothing to do with politics. At the end of the day, well, it does have something to do with politics, but at the end of the day, there have been people that committed crimes that are Republicans. There have been people that committed crimes that are Democrats, and it wasn't red or blue; it was green. At the end of the day, what we're talking about is complicated. But to Joe Sixpack, how does a broke city borrow $85 million to join a brand new water system? Because without that fraudulent deal, Charlie, I would argue
you don't die.
Flint's not using the Flint River. Because why would they use the Flint River if they're not joining this new water system?
Bro, and by the way, bro, this Joe Sixpack thing is tired out. You know why? This shit cost $12 before tax and the deposit. It's like, Joe, can I get a Lucy? Hold on a second. It's a nice Michigan beer. Okay, so you guys heard that.
But where does this leave the people of Flint, Charlie? That's the thing.
I think they know. I think they know, Karen.
I know, but I don't want it to be lost. I mean, as Jordan said, this isn't a political discussion. It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. This is a human interest thing. This is serious, I guess, abandonment of obligation and responsibility and just basic human courtesy and concern. I mean, you've got a whole city that continues to suffer because of reckless decisions or lack thereof of a select few.
This rat fuckery. It's rat fuckery.
Yeah. And can I just add to that? Because, I think some journalists watch your show, Charlie. I mean, shame on the Michigan media, because where are the people left in Flint? Well, if the Detroit Free Press would cover it, if the Detroit News would cover it, if the Flint Journal would cover it, they would learn this narrative that has gone out. Oh, no, the water's fine now. It's just a trust issue. The residents don't trust it. I've been to Flint nearly 20 times. I was just there 6 months ago. You tell me, residents are showing me I'm still getting rashes on my arm after I shower. Residents are telling me I'm still losing hair when I shower. Residents are telling me the water still smells. I'm not saying it's bad water throughout the city, but this narrative that started under Snyder and has continued under Whitmer, the testing data, which, by the way, I broke that they manipulated under Snyder.
Oh, whoa, data manipulated. Hey, Steve DeLee, manipulated data. Go ahead anyway.
The water itself, if you go to Flint and talk to residents, you'll quickly learn you can't really declaratively make that statement that the water is safe. We're talking 8 years later. I talk to residents that are nearly going bankrupt trying to keep up with medical bills because their short-term Medicaid expansion that they got for this is over. They don't have universal health care after they were poisoned.
All right, all right, stop with your fucking anger. Stop it.
My anger.
Yes, your anger. I want you to, when we're done, close those blinds and just let it out, dude. Scream. Yeah, just let it out. Here's what I want to say.
That's the point.
Here's what I want to say.
That's the point.
This was in The Guardian. Look it up. You can put my name in, LeDuff. You can put Jordan's name in, Sheridan. Put in Flint, Guardian. Get it. Okay? 2. Jordan's a big-time fucking reporter. Big-time journalist who decided to, kind of like us, we're tired of it. We're going to do it on our own. It's status quo. And if you got a buck, there's no such thing as a spare buck anymore. I know. But if you want him to keep going, he got to eat. He got to keep the water on. He got to keep those plants alive. Where can they go and donate, brother, if they so choose? Otherwise, just read. That's enough. Do your pitch here. And I wholeheartedly agree with this.
Status Quo, C-O-U-P. Status Quo, C-O-U-P. We're on YouTube where we talk about Flint and a lot of other stories your media is not covering, frankly, that they're covering up. So we're on YouTube. And if you can throw in a couple bucks, it's statusquo.com/join. I would have never broken this story along with Charlie if I didn't have the funding to keep going to Michigan, to keep on Flint. So check us out on YouTube and check us out if you can, statusquo.com/join.
You might want to spell status quo. You know, I mean, we're smart people, but it might be C-O-O.
C-O-U-P. Status C-O-U-P.
And if you donate, then they'll send you updates. I donated, and because I think Jordan's a great guy. I love the content, and you get updates, so you don't have to search it out. They'll send you email updates and let you know when there's new content posted. So thank you for what you do, Jordan.
Thank you. Checks in the mail.
Okay, listen, brother. We're gonna move on. If you want to hang. If you got to try to get your power back on.
Yeah, I got to get my power back on.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it, man. We'll talk with you.
It's really good work.
All right.
It's a good story in The Guardian.
Yeah, we have hours.
It's insulting.
And why does it have to come out from somewhere else?
Exactly.
Like he said, why isn't that taking place here?
Because the Michigan media is in on the cover-up. That's why.
Oh, really? Wow, that's a big charge.
I'm not saying that, but I support him saying whatever the fuck he wants to. I know, trying to shop the story around. This thing's bulletproof. One of the biggest papers in Europe lawyered this baby. Oh, and by the way, I got some news. It ain't over. We got more. We're not. I promised you, Flint, when we started, that you're my brother and sister, and we have not forgotten about you. I know you set a homicide record. I know the last homicide of the year occurred before midnight, but wasn't registered till after midnight. That's a nice feature story. Don't want to set the record. Wow. Come on. And you know what home values have done? They've actually gone up.
Yeah.
Well, they've gone up everywhere. You got the hedge funds and everything. But if speaking of homes.
Well, man, you got to take care of that pretty quick, right?
Speaking of homes, we tell you every week about
I can sense a segue.
Yeah, you got right in the middle of it. We'll fix it in post.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying about homes?
Listen, I mean, you might want to. I would get going here. I'm making a move if you're going to make a move.
Yeah.
Interest rates are going up. Fed's already announced it. You want to sell yours, look for a new, all the stuff that comes around with the biggest investment of your life. It's David Hall. We keep talking about David Hall. Now, if you wonder what David looks like, what he sounds like.
Never seen him before.
Right? If he's wearing the pimp ring, he got an earring, what kind of tie the guy wears.
Yeah, can you trust him?
I'd like to bring you what he sounds like. Introducing, ladies and gentlemen, David Hall himself.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Choosing between a 15 or 30-year mortgage can be difficult, which is why we offer the Modern Mortgage, a flexible term that's customized for you. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Wow, I can trust that guy. He's a sharp dresser.
I could trust that guy. It's the CEO, dude.
I know.
Call them up. They get it done quickly. They give you personal attention. They got 20,000 stars.
Yeah.
Right?
Do it now.
I would. Okay, should we do one more?
Yeah. For one of our sponsors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got ADR or
I think sausage time.
Okay.
No?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh, Karen.
The show is always brought to you by American Coney Island at the corner of Michigan and Lafayette. Mark's got
Look, go to my camera, Joe.
Look at this guy. He's so happy.
Coney got a rough ride on the way over.
All right. Oh, yeah.
Still delicious.
Let's roll it. Or get the Coney kit.
I don't know why I'm in the desert in my underpants. I don't know why these wolves are following me. But I need sausage. I look in my fridge. Oh my. What do I see? Sausage. You may run with a pack, but everything ain't meant to be said. Sausage. No need to cross the desert. No need to cross 8 Mile. Who these wolves be? Get back, bitch. Sausage. Order a Coney kit directly to your door at AmericanConeyIsland.com.
Hey.
It's the belly for me that's just, a little much to look at.
That's a lot to look at.
And the behind scratch,
I'm hurt on his behalf.
Okay, look. There's another big one going around the country, and yet it's all twisted up statewide and locally. It's the COVID nursing home and long-term care facility death count. There was an audit. The audit shows minimum 8,000, I'm rounding, okay, folks? 8,000 institutionalized, infirm, and elderly people died. The state is reporting 5,600, all of this as of July. So this doesn't even include the last 6 months, okay? So there was hearings yesterday. And the Michigan health director testified yesterday, Thursday, that her office simply took the nursing home's word for it. The independent audit, however, found another 1,400 dead from facilities that the state was requiring to report, right? Yeah. She says the state's count is accurate because they simply took the word of the nursing homes, and that's what they said, so it's accurate. All right? So, Steve, should we play a little bit from the hearing, you think? Set it up for me, Steve.
I think that's a great place to start. And what we heard yesterday was a lot of arguing about what's being counted and what isn't. But at the end of the day, the Auditor General's report was asked to do one simple thing. Take a look at these group homes of all types and tell us how many deaths from COVID can be associated with those types of homes. And I'm not sure we were left with any better answers. And I think your clip will show some of the reasons that that's been so difficult.
Okay, and the clip is, it's a joint committee hearing, right?
Correct. Yes, this is House and Senate, Charlie.
Which means it's serious.
Yeah, I mean, this hearing went on for over 3 hours. I'd encourage everyone who has the time to watch it. It's very interesting. But yes, this was not a small event.
Okay, so why did an independent auditor, and the state's not auditing, why did the auditor find that the death count was 42% higher than what the state is telling us? You know, the state used COVID data to limit your movement, to ban you from buying seeds, from shutting the schools down. And you all know my position. COVID is real. But as it turns out, it's more real for the people in these institutions that remember the governor's decree. You will put the infected back into the homes in which they live. Huh? So here is Senator Ed McBroom. You know him from
the show.
Mm-hmm. Remember, he's a Republican and a conservative and a Trump guy who led the investigation to election fraud in the state in 2020 and found nothing, right? And he got battered by his own people. I find him to be an honest person. Here's him questioning Elizabeth Hertel, the Director of Health and Human Services.
Throughout your testimony that I was here for earlier, and now these answers, I'm still having some confusion on how we can talk about the system needing improvements while also depending on self-reporting that the department's not auditing themselves. And I guess I want to know, why isn't the department auditing the self-reporting?
At this point, to audit the self-reporting, again, we're getting into confidentiality and privacy when we're talking about individual patient records. At some point in the future, it is the intention to go back through and try to do a one-to-one comparison of what's self-reported against our death records. At this point, we have not done that, but as we continue to move through the response to this pandemic and close out some of the emergency response and do that sort of look back, lessons learned, that is our intention.
So as long as we're continuing to completely depend on self-reporting and on self-reporting that's not being audited, is it really, can you really contend so vehemently that the numbers are absolutely accurate and that the Auditor General's report is inaccurate?
Yes, I can, because I have faith in the facility's intentions to follow the guidance required by them in order to receive the funding that they receive. So if at some point, for example, a skilled nursing facility undergoes a CMS investigation or a survey, and it is found that they were intentionally hiding deaths, they will lose their CMS certification, which means that they are no longer able to take Medicare patients or Medicaid patients, which means they will no longer be able to operate in the state.
Well, I understand that's true, but if they don't have to worry about an audit, and if you're comfortable with them self-reporting, I'm very concerned that the numbers that we're getting are not really being legitimized somehow in a proper fashion that we can count on. I mean, and to put faith in all of these facilities that there is no reason for them to misreport when there's no teeth threatening them right now, it seems unwise at best.
Steve?
Yeah, a couple of points got hit on there, and I think it's important to discuss them. There was some argument here about CMS requirements. First of all, CMS requirements only apply to nursing homes, not skilled nursing facilities, adult foster care, or other state licensed
No, let me
facilities.
stop you there. You misspoke. CMS rules, those are federal rules. That's the Center for Medicaid and Medicare, okay? There are specific facilities that fall under their rubric, okay? These are called skilled nursing facilities, nursing homes. We all call all of these homes nursing homes. Some of them fall under the state, right? The federal ones as well. And Whitmer's orders directed that all of these things be counted. But, right, Steve, they're talking specifically about the federal skilled nursing facilities.
That's correct, Charlie. Thank you for clarifying.
For sure.
Yes. Skilled nursing homes are the only things that are subject to those kind of requirements. All of these other facilities, and keep in mind, this all came from Executive Order 2020-50. It covered more than just the small homes. It covered assisted living facilities too. All of those facilities are subject to the state. So any reporting requirements that we have are coming from the department, which means if those decisions being made about who reports and who doesn't are the department's responsibility. And so essentially they made the choice to not count some of these facilities. And it's a lot of facilities and a lot of people that are represented by those that aren't being counted. So what we're seeing is a lot of fighting back and forth about nursing home versus skilled nursing home versus what the feds require, what the state requires. At the end of the day, the auditor was asked one simple question. If there is a facility where it's a large number of our elderly are living together, how many COVID deaths can be tied to those facilities? And he answered that question, and it was 42% higher than the state reported. And that could, and we can get into it further if you want to talk about just the number of deaths the state missed in what they said they were counting. But that's the overarching number.
Let me do this. Here was the argument. Ready? The state required all these facilities. Whitmer required all the facilities. The health department decided, some of the facilities we're not going to count for privacy reasons, as if your death should remain private from the state itself. Okay? That's about 1,000. Okay. That leaves 1,400 other ones. dig this, that skilled nursing facility. I'm sorry to bore y'all, but this is what they fucking play up there. That federal nursing facility. The auditor found this. You died, that's your address. That address is a skilled nursing facility, okay? As of July, he found 5,200 deaths. Today, the state is reporting 4,200 deaths. So where's the other 1,000?
Yeah.
How do you dispute that? How in the fucking world do you dispute that? Number two, that's your death certificate. That's your address. Some of them didn't even have an address. Okay, you take the name and you put them through a database. It's called the disease surveillance system. That's what the state used for me and you and the tracing and the outbreaks in the schools and the bar that's got to be closed.
Sure.
The state disputes that their own database is good for tracking a dead body, even though it's fine to track your kid. I don't get it, but here's the other part that the media doesn't get because they didn't do their work. When it came up on that state database of disease surveillance, they now took that and double-checked it with two other databases which show where your federal check goes. So Medicaid or Medicare is a federal and state check. It gets mailed to a facility. So they took the name and they plugged it into that to see. 85% of them came back as nursing homes. 15% they didn't even bother because they're like, oh, you know, like you stood at the plate, you swung and missed on 85 pitches, you can't hit.
Yeah.
Okay. So they didn't even check the other 15%. It was almost 100% accurate. They're fucking trying to confuse you.
Well, and I feel like they're doing that because they know they were wrong, right? I mean, anytime you see a battle of semantics and splitting hairs, it's usually because that person's wrong, which is kind of what I feel they're doing with the whole vernacular of nursing homes, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, look over, a little bit of a shell game. They really seem to get caught because they trusted these facilities. But like McBroom was saying there, if you don't ever penalize these facilities, then why would you trust them? And isn't that where they fucked up?
Steve?
Well, I think there's a couple of things. One, yes, if nobody is watching and the penalties are nebulous and coming in the future, why would they? I think it's, I mean, how do you reach that conclusion? That's a major concern. I think that's what everybody asked for. And what I guess is most concerning to me is not in that clip, but other parts of the testimony. Director Hertel was directly questioned, was this original policy wrong? Are you going to make changes going forward? Do you admit fault, essentially, that something went wrong? And the answer to those questions were no. As long as we feel the facility can house these individuals, we don't think that policy was wrong then, and we don't think it was wrong now. And that's the most concerning to me, because the goal of revealing this has always been, let's make sure we can fix this. And it doesn't sound like the people who have the power to do that are interested in doing so.
Let me give you the headlines from the two major metropolitan newspapers.
Okay, yes.
Okay, where you can't really find these stories today.
Yeah.
Right? We're still seeing stories about the president of U of M and Nestle's sending some bullshit document about fake electors, right? Here are the headlines on this. Michigan Auditor General, quote, unfair to call nursing home death count an underreport. The other one, these are the same headlines basically. Auditor, not fair to say state underreported COVID long-term care deaths. Okay, so the auditor says, no, we didn't put it in our report that they underreported. You know why he did that?
Why?
Because he didn't want to look political. I'm doing numbers.
His job was to count.
But you know, I tried to listen to that hearing yesterday, Charlie, and I truly applaud the fact that you could listen and extract, because I felt like I was watching an episode of Charlie Brown and his teacher. Wow. I mean, seriously, it was driving me crazy because it's a play on words. It's a shuffling of numbers. It's an abandonment of a responsibility. And at the end of the day, as I say oftentimes, what does that leave the people who are supposed to be cared for? I mean, what changes?
Well, that's Steve. You're from the Mackinac Center for Public Policy. What's the public policy, Steve?
I mean, I suppose the public policy is to make sure that we start auditing these numbers, that we start changing our reporting, and that we make sure that we study whether any commingling created more deaths. We don't have that data right now. But if we had a cooperative government, we could end up in a scenario where maybe we can get it, analyze it, and say, okay, we now know that the problem is this big. We know we shouldn't have done that. We can't change it now, but we can change it moving forward.
But remember,
and all I saw yesterday was pushback.
But remember early on, Charlie, when you interviewed people that actually worked in these facilities, I mean, just before there was any real, COVID compliance from anywhere, they were doing things that just didn't make sense. People that had the virus, they knew that they were sick, regardless of what they were ill with. They were allowing them to commingle. There was no distinction or separation. There were no protocols in place. Just crazy stuff that, if you were trying to protect anybody from anything that somebody else had, they weren't practicing that at any level.
Well, that's true. And, my mind's just racing and then there were words put in place. There were protocols demanded. And then when you really got to look at it, it wasn't there, right? It was a plastic sheet. We had the kitchen porter come on. We didn't have anything. I'd walk into the COVID thing, then I'd walk into it was bullshit. The numbers tell you it's bullshit. Nobody but the state, not even the press, is disputing the number, right? Yeah. But how you arrived at, look, man, the numbers probably higher, because what the Auditor General said was, assisted living, there's nursing homes, that has a definition. Mm-hmm. They all have a definition. Assisted living was in the executive order. Since the state itself doesn't have a list of assisted living facilities, they couldn't check. So what the governor decreed, what New York left out, assisted living, right? Cuomo left it out. If you look today, no, New York's got it added in. It's bullshit. It was required by law that was signed when you suspended the Constitution to keep these people safe. Now it turns out I'm not buying it. Well, I know.
We know, and the nature of politics, they're never going to admit. Any politician never admits that.
Admit it.
They never admit they make a mistake. But we all know. We all know. I mean, the proof is there. So, and like you guys have said, what do we do going forward? And you have mentioned plenty of times how to spend the money to fix a lot of these places. But I'd love to know, can they go back to these self-reporting places that they, trusted so much? Because if they break their rules, they'll have licensing problems. Can they go back and look at that and say,
but would they though, Mark, when they don't, there's no oversight of these facilities?
Let me do this. Let me do this. That's correct. Start the clip again. Just fuck it. Listen. Great. You arrived at the question, which is why it's 3 hours of bullshit.
Yeah, you're right.
No one can play it again.
Throughout your testimony that
Listen
I was
what
here
she
for
says.
earlier, and now these answers, I'm still having some confusion on how we can talk about the system needing improvements while also depending on self-reporting that the department's not auditing themselves. Mm-hmm. And I guess I want to know, why isn't the department auditing the self-reporting?
We all thought you were.
At this point, to audit the self-reporting, again, we're getting into confidentiality and privacy when we're talking about individual patient records.
You're dead. There's no privacy.
At some point in the future, it is the intention to go back through try to do a one-to-one comparison.
At
sometime in the future, it is the intention. Sometime in the future,
I intend.
It is the intention.
Charlie,
that means
let me say this, if I may. None of this should be new to anybody. We have long known that whether it's assisted living facilities, nursing homes, adult foster, whatever you want to call them, there is an entity where they are supposed to be inspected for their licensing. There's a process that has not been followed for decades. So why are we surprised, and why are we expecting something different now? Everybody that's sitting up there asking like, oh, this is something new. Why didn't we know? Do they ever sit back and say, hey, pull a report on nursing homes. Let me see, how are they inspected? Do they ever just randomly get up and go look at one? I mean, they all act like all these things are new. What are you doing?
And don't forget, and we're working on it. Oh, I got a lot here, including, under the Freedom of Information, questions reporters were asking that seem to have been dropped.
Oh, that's interesting.
Keep your eye on this. It's a big one. Now, a judge has said, whoa, they took a long look at foster care for children, told to fix stuff. It got fucking worse. That's under this department too. We'll be on that. Wow. Y'all asked me to do family court and everything. I can't do everything, but I know. Steve, where's it go from here, dude? We're still arguing on a number. So what gets done?
It's an uphill battle at this point. There are things that are within the control of the public, and there are things that aren't. So more information, more Freedom of Information Act requests, more analysis of data, that can be done still by the public. But in terms of making meaningful change that would enable us to change these policies, I don't know that that's a solution that the general public can enact. I think that's a legislative solution or something for the department. And based on yesterday, it looks to me like it's got to be some kind of legislative solution.
And look, I mean, what you read in the news reports is nobody said any laws were broken. Shut the fuck up with that. We the people
doing their jobs.
Yeah, we thought that we the people thought you were doing the jobs. You said, trust me, science and data. That's what you said. Now we know. I have faith in their intention. Turns out it's wrong.
And what happened to everything at TCF? What happened to all that stuff?
That's coming. Breaking news.
Oh, geez.
Look, put it on. Can I hear it? Stay with me here. Phone call coming in.
Hello. This is a prepaid debit call from...
Wait for it.
An inmate at the Michigan Department of Corrections, Muskegon Correctional Facility. If you feel you are being victimized or extorted by this prisoner, please contact GTL customer service at 855-466-2832.
Who's got that contract?
To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for using GTL.
We're recording it too.
Hello?
Hello.
Who's this?
This is Phil.
Phil, what's going on? It's Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, how you doing?
Dude, I'm flummoxed. This guy called me yesterday out of the blue, Muskegon State Pen. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? Who are you, Phil?
Who am I? I'm just a guy from Oakland County doing time in prison.
How much time, Phil?
Let's just say all day right now.
And how many days?
A lot of them. Over 10,000 served. I mean, I've been in prison 20 years, so you do the math.
What'd you do?
Yeah, we're not going to get into that.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Question.
Oh,
no, we're not, Charlie. Nice try, buddy. I called to give you the COVID report from Muskegon Prison.
Okay, well, first of all, look, it's no bullshit news, and I mean, what were you convicted for? I didn't say you did it.
We're not even. Next question.
Okay.
Next question.
All right. Okay.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it, though.
How'd you get my number?
A friend from Clarkston said you were doing a lot of good things in podcasting, news, journalistic information, and I just wanted to be a collaborator, see if you needed anything.
Okay.
Can you get podcasts in prison?
We do not, sir. We do not.
What was for lunch today, dude?
Tacos. It's funny you asked that. I was going to tell you anyways. Taco Bell.
Taco fucking Bell?
Oh. Well, in here we call it taco smell because it's not the real thing.
That's what we call it out here.
Okay.
That's abuse. That's abuse.
Hey.
Taco Bell's awesome.
Man, I might go to prison for some Taco Bell.
Just so you know, I skipped lunch to talk to you, so we're good to go.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so it was Taco.
No, you're good.
Was it Taco Bell like Taco Bell? Taco Bell?
No, it's just two shells, some meat, some stinky beans, and a sprinkle of cheese. Now, if the guy going through the line don't like you, you just get a little cheese. But if you know a guy, you get a lot of cheese. That's how it works in prison.
Well, you've been there 20 years, motherfucker. You must be some kind of player.
What can I do for you today, Charlie?
I don't know. You called me, motherfucker. Okay, listen. Give me the COVID report from what we were at the Muskegon State Pen.
Yeah, so the COVID report is we tested Wednesday. We got 120 new cases from this little Omicron bullshit, which is like marginally more than a brief cough and head cold from everything I'm gathering. Statewide, we've got 150 prisoners that have died in the last 2 years. God rest their soul. Look, this stuff affects everybody differently. We're certainly empathetic to people that are immune compromised and all that. But we also see the bullshit that's going on in the major media on both sides of the aisle. And it's like, how long is this bullshit going to keep going on? Because it's a shit show at every level, state government. We got an email from the director today saying there's 3,800 active cases statewide, but we're not on the list. So we know the 120 that reported Wednesday aren't even being included in that list. According to them, 27,000 have recovered. I'm sorry, 25,344 have recovered.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, I've got numbers because I like to deal in facts. You know, there's so much
It's like a reporter.
innuendo and bullshit.
Because he got nothing else to do.
Right.
Right. Listen.
Fact check.
Okay. That's kind of deep.
Interesting, yeah.
So what happens when you get COVID in the pen?
So here's what they're doing at this facility. They have one unit that's designated as a kind of like a COVID. So if you test and you get tested positive, they shoot you over to this other unit. So basically, you pack your shit and go to the leper colony. Basically, they don't do shit for you, and that's the whole scam of the whole thing. Is because the shit's already in here. It's everywhere, right? So you can't socially distance. The masks don't work. So just cut the bullshit. You know.
So let me ask you. Let me
Yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead.
this then. So they put you in the COVID ward. Now all of a sudden you got the Aryan Brotherhood with the Black Disciples with the MA. How's that? Nobody wants to go to the COVID ward, do they?
I mean, basically, it just disrupts your life in a way that's inconvenient and unnecessary.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Because-
mister. I did 20 years. I mean, I'm sorry. You got to do, disrupts your life and fucked up your Taco Bell.
No.
No, what I'm getting at is that it's already everywhere. It's in the air we breathe. These masks are largely superficial, and that's just what I'm trying to convey. There's nothing wrong with being safe and obviously extremely clean, but these cells are so small, you just, there's no cure for this stuff, and you just got to suck it up. You know what I mean?
Are you scared?
Not at all.
Okay. Listen, let me do this.
When was the last time you were scared in prison?
Oh.
I mean, 20 years.
Yeah, come on now.
There's been a couple choice moments where I've been outnumbered by significant numbers where I've had to suck it up and just focus, with gut determination and letting a certain individual know that, if he wants to roll out, he's going to get hell. But generally, you earn your respect the first 5 to 10 years you come in, and that's pretty much the typecast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 5 to 10, blink of an eye.
Jeez, this sounds like The Longest Yard.
The Longest Yard. Karen knows the Rough and Tumble Street. It is a great movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Okay, listen, dude. Dude.
What can I do for you, Charlie?
You called me.
I know. I just want to make sure you're all right, man.
You're moving the show along. The guy's a fucking director in
He's
there.
checking in on you.
Okay,
It's been
look.
20 years.
Number one, we know the Mortons listening. They're recording this shit. Two,
That's fine.
you probably only got 10, 15 minutes here. So
I do.
do you have a short story, a poem, any kind of art, anything you might have done the last 20 years that you want to share with the audience?
Look, not today. Maybe another time.
Okay.
But look, I'll keep that open.
Okay.
I play a little music here and there.
Oh.
But I just want you. I didn't know if you guys were entertainment, news. I didn't know what you guys were doing on the podcast, or if there's something relevant on today's topic.
Well, you can't hear the rest of the show, but it fits in good, dude. That was.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting a COVID report. That's kind of deep. Because we were talking about nursing home deaths. We were talking about the Flint water poisoning. You call in, it fits in neatly. We will check your facts and figures, and you will now be the Jailhouse correspondent officially for the No Bullshit News Hour.
Yeah, this is Charlie LeDuff's Prison News Network reporting from Cell Block 5 of Muskegon Correctional Facility.
My brother. Okay, man.
All right.
Sounds pretty gangster.
And give me a call. It's pretty gangster.
She's great.
This guy's a total fucking peckerwood. You hear this voice? This guy could be doing the weather on the local news.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
Well, hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. Listen now. Don't jump. Ready? Hold on. Roll it, Mark.
I got to start it over.
Okay, here we go. Breaking news.
Breaking news for all you fantasy football buffs. Derrick Henry will be starting. Make sure he's in your lineup.
Now, how did you know that before a lot of other people?
Listen,
That's why he's in jail.
Sources in here. I got Schefter on my JPay. He sends me updates all the time. We're real close. We did a lot of beer pong at U of M when I used to go down there on the weekends.
All right, fair point.
I won't tell you about all the other stuff he did in college.
You want to know how sweet Karen is? She's like, live from jail. This is prison, Karen.
Yeah, 20 years.
It's prison. All right, Phil, man, thanks for calling in, brother. Good luck, and don't drop the soap.
Unless you're into
day,
it,
bro.
Okay, my man. Bye bye.
All right, we'll talk soon.
That was pretty good, Charlie. I mean, when people feel comfortable enough and trust you enough, they want to get the truth out. There are people that want the truth to be known. It's just unfortunate that the people that we pay for the truth don't want to tell us.
Yeah.
Steve, do you think the Mackinac Center can look into COVID in the Muskegon State Prison?
I mean, in the interest of transparency, I think we need to look into COVID everywhere.
I'll tell you what we do.
That was a good Mackinac policy answer.
I'm gonna send you a ski mask and a chocolate bar shaped as a revolver wrapped in aluminum foil. And once you go to the liquor store, pick me up a 6-pack. We'll get you into Muskegon the hard way. And then you can do an in-depth analysis.
I think that's beyond the scope of our legal representation, Charlie. Unfortunately, I can't do that one for you.
Jailhouse fucking lawyer, my man. Okay, last thing here is...
Best lawyer ever.
I'm thinking this is what we can do. Tell me what you think about getting the processes correct, getting the count, getting the IT correct with the state, right? Where's the solution here?
They need someone.
Right? You know what they should do? It's called ADR.
Yeah, that's the only option.
The processes are messed up. This is exactly what they do. They deal with the government. They work with the government. They can be a go-between, the fix-all, right? Whether it's the jailhouse and you need a legitimate COVID facility, you need that to be built. You're having problems with the state Department of Corrections, or you just have an apartment house, right? Or you got a complaint. You need a crosswalk. You're a police unit, and you need shot spotter. You need cameras. Everything under one roof. That's Barry Ellentuck at 248-318-9424. Honest, ethical, discreet. Barry Ellentuck at ADR Associates. That's who you call. 248-318-9424. What do you think of that, Steve?
Thought it was great, Charlie. Well done.
Okay. So that's not the Mackinac Center. That's just Steve.
It's just
in his creepy apartment.
You did a great ad read, Charlie.
Steve, you know what would make your life better? Some fucking art on those walls.
Wherever Steve is, there's never anything on the walls.
He's in the COVID unit. He's in the hub.
I'm working on a better backdrop. I'll show you next time.
Oh my God. Go into the yard. You have a dog?
Just a cat.
Where's your pussy? Show me your pussy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Charlie.
What?
No.
He's locked in the garage, Charlie.
Oh my God!
Blow up your show.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
Oh, he's got a blanket.
He's got a blanket. He doesn't have thumbs to pull the blanket up.
It's too cold.
Mackinac Poly Center chief of transparency abuses animals.
Oh, don't say that.
No, okay. We'll cut that out. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke.
Charlie, you got to let me go after 20 minutes so I can let him back in.
Oh. Man, you might end up in Muskegon State Penitentiary, motherfucker. All right. Hey, I love you, man. Great work.
Excellent.
We're on it. You're not mad at me, are you, for the cat joke?
No, you're fine, Charlie.
Wasn't too much? It wasn't too much?
Tell him yes, it was,
so.
Steve.
Right.
And then he'll change. Say, yes, Charlie, it was too much. Tell him.
I have the most spoiled cat in the world, I assure you. He's well taken care of.
That's what they all say, man. Till you find out he was catting around. I love you, dude. Good work. Talk to you later.
Thanks,
Bye,
Charlie.
Steve.
You have a good one.
Bye, Steve.
Bye, everybody.
It's good work, man. You guys did good work on that.
Steve's a nice guy. I like him.
I am so intimate with the guy now.
What?
Well,
Really,
wait
really.
a minute, Charlie.
No, that's okay. I'm good with that. It's
Okay.
to be honest. I mean, we're not here to pull tricks. We're not political. This is very heavy, and this is hundreds of hours of legal work, of reading documents, of crunching numbers, because we don't want to go out there and blow something up that's not there. We don't want to over-represent or under-represent stuff. You know what I mean?
Watchdogs.
Yeah. And look, if these numbers came out properly, we would have said, that's wonderful. We're glad that these centers are honestly reporting their numbers. I'm still not saying they're dishonestly reporting their numbers, but we now know we can find out. Yep. And it's not good enough that sometime in the future, the intention is you were making decisions in real time. I'm sorry about that. That costs so much. And I trusted you. That's the thing. I trusted you that it was better than this. And it wasn't. We now know that.
And not to mention.
How's your foot, Karen? Not to mention.
It hurts, but it's fine. I'm tough. Remember, I'm from the East Side, and my father was from the Middle East, and so I'm tough. I got it. Let's go. Keep going.
Back to the numbers. It's interesting to me that Hertel gets called to the carpet when the previous guy made a lot of decisions, and as you mentioned before, where is he today?
Oh,
where is he today? Because it's kind of like Flynn. It's like failing upwards, right?
Okay. Well, we got any video of the guy?
We do have video.
Okay, hold on a second. Here is the chief boob.
Chief boob
of the health bureaucracy that suppressed, undercounted, misrepresented, whatever, the death count of thousands of elderly people in Michigan's nursing homes and long-term care facilities. Let's roll some tape.
I want to talk a little bit about, as Congressman Kildee did, about trust. The state government and my department lost the trust of the people of Flint, and for good reason.
It all ties together.
Water, nursing homes, because Flint got hit hard. Detroit got hit hardest. Man, be careful of these bullshit.
And he understands why we don't trust him.
Yeah, okay, his name's Robert Gordon. You might remember him. He was fired last year by Governor Gretchen Whitmer as the director of the State Department of Health and Human Services. The euphemism was, I asked for his resignation. Yeah. And then Whitmer quietly paid the cat $155,000 to keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, an NDA.
The political euphemism is the non-disclosure agreement. That's our money.
In government, which is supposed to be publicly accessible and transparent.
And that's from the former shadow mayor of Detroit, Karen Dumas, right there. She knows exactly what she's talking. Did you guys ever give out NDAs, Karen, in your time in government?
No.
Ever?
No. Nor should you. We are accountable to the people who pay us, who are the taxpayers. We have a right and obligation to disclose anything and everything that their money touches or is responsible for. An NDA should be unheard of and unacceptable.
You're so old-fashioned.
I know.
Nice flower. That's so classy. Nice flowers back there. I love the vase.
Yeah, this guy and his wife sent them to me, Charlie something or other. Yeah, so my thanks to you and your beautiful wife for this. And it's an amazing pot. Very, very high-end, kind of very elegant. I love it. Thank you. And I love you guys.
None too good for you. I love you too. And all those weeks I joke about I got you flowers. Actually, got you some flowers.
Yes, you did, and I appreciate it.
Okay, my wife actually got you the flowers, but she asked me for your address, which I have memorized. So it's a team.
It's a team. Yeah.
Okay, anyway, this Gordon boob. Guess what he's doing for work now, you might wonder. Guess what he's doing? Wait for it. Wait for it. Incredibly, he's awaiting confirmation as Assistant Secretary of the United States Department of Health and Human Services.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Fell up.
Yeah.
Now, we at the No Bullshit News Hour, let's have a group meeting, editorial board. What do we want? What do we say the Senate should do here? What's your vote?
No.
No, Karen?
No confirmation.
What's your thought?
Yeah, no way. I mean, that's also the problem, Charlie, because people who have proven themselves inept or incompetent are allowed to transfer to other positions, higher positions. Nobody says anything. They repeat that ill behavior. And again, nothing changes. So no.
Hey, I'm inept. I make a lot of mistakes. Can I get a raise here?
We got a job for you at the water department.
Oh, okay,
homie.
great. Okay.
All right, look.
Water.
Well, wait, they only want PR. Maybe I'll go after that one.
It's unanimous. Wait, a mannequin. This is for real. I want you to speak. What's your vote? Should they confirm him or fucking kick him to the curb?
Kick him to the curb.
He speaketh.
A voice upon high.
Wait, was he calling from the state pen? Was that Phil again? Okay, it's unanimous. The editorial board of the New York Times bullshit hour. We say no, an emphatic no. No, Gordon, no fucking way. All right, we have very much more to do. We're not going to do it because I'm exhausted. Right, Karen?
I'm in pain.
And she's in pain. And she's fanning herself. I didn't want to go there.
That's okay.
Okay, we want to tell you we love you. Politics don't mean a thing to us. You mean everything to us. We got a lot. We couldn't even get to it. Enjoy the grooves and hang out at the end for the outtakes of Red's, what do you call that shit? His audition tape.
And pay attention to his makeup.
Well, they did.
He puts it on as well as anyone else.
Exactly. Anyone else on TV news.
All right. Be good to each other. Bye.
See you guys.
With your local news. In local news tonight, disgraced former city council member and Pastor Andre Spivey. I fucked up the last.
And dude, you gotta
I got to look.
Just generally, you know what I mean?
Right. In tonight's local news, disgraced.
Dude, good evening. I'm James Hardy. In local news.
In the federal penitentiary for accepting bribes in the undercut. I said cut. I'm sorry.
You did it again. Take 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening in local shit.
Good evening. I'm James Harvey. In local news, disgraced former city councilman Pastor Andre Spivey sentenced to 2 years in the federal penitentiary. Right?
Okay, I'm running through it. Okay.
Don't be nervous. Just do it, and don't use your voice.
Hi, I'm James Harvey. In local news, my voice here. Hi, good evening. I'm James Harvey. And in local news, okay.
The anchorman doesn't go, hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening, okay.
Whoa. What the fuck are you doing, Red?
I'm doing the news.
Hey, yo. There.
Okay, well, he told me to look up where you were standing.
No. Whoa. What are you doing now, Red?
I'm doing the news.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
What the fuck?
Okay, yeah. What the fuck? Okay, 3, 2, 1.
For undercover agents who said they bribed him, who had bribed him. I'm sorry. I got to read through it a couple times. My bad.
Oh, this for what, like 1 minute?
Yeah.
I'm going, you hear whoa, and you go like this. See what I'm saying?
Okay. Former city council president. Ah, damn, I fucked it all up. Okay. Disgrace. I didn't. Okay. Gotcha. And Minister Spivey. Oh. Good evening. What was that? We at the bottom. I tell you, that's what I felt. Okay.
Hey, by the way, pronounce it
cool, man.
Like it's gonna be a cold snap across the metro region.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, I like the weather, man.
You can do it.
Okay. All right. gonna be cool, man.
The hot marshmallows. The cocoa and hot marshmallows. That sounds interesting. All right.
And now in the weather, Minister Andre Spivey, you can burn in hell with your sellout ass.
It's Spivey! Burn in hell, motherfucker! Sell out, motherfucker!
Oh, sellout motherfucker, my man.
This time? I know, but he's practicing. Oh, okay. It's Spivey! It's burn in hell, motherfucker!
And Minister Spivey, you can burn in hell, you sellout motherfucker.
And that was the tape.
Nice.
And that was the tape.
Thank you.
And that was the tape.